So to conclude, this study gathered 106 participants and produced two datasets, one containing null values and one without. The pure dataset with no null rows is what I used to test and train in my final algorithm. This dataset certainly showed me the potential of machine learning. However, due to its relatively small size, it cannot accurately predict how a specific person responded to an email test. For example, if the testing size was only 10 and the actual scores of 10 random participants were that 7 correctly identified phishing and 3 didn't, the machine learning model could simply predict that participants are always successful, which would produce a misleading efficiency of 70%. The true dataset, on the other hand, draws my attention to a different question altogether, one of ethics. Half of the participants chose not to disclose all of their information, so is it ethical to remove people's free will in what they're willing to share? I wrote another Python script that can show me the percentages of people who were not comfortable disclosing specific demographic information. Using this script, it is also possible to develop a variety of graphs to visualize where and possibly why some values were blank, which I'll now proceed to show you. Here you can see how likely a participant was to leave a missing value. With web hours, the amount that they use the internet per week, being the most comfortable attribute that they were willing to share about themselves, all the way down to their ethnicity, occupation and wealth, where they were most private about. This is the not a number matrix, where each line across the matrix represents a participant and the information that they entered. As you can see, the first participant decided to enter all of the information, whereas the second participant chose to ignore wealth, home ownership, and religion. This was taken when there were only 86 participants, so it is an old drawing. But towards the bottom, you can see that there are two participants, the fourth last and second last, that decided not to disclose any information about themselves at all. Interestingly, we have a heat correlation matrix that can be made from these not a number values as well. What this means is that if a participant decided to withhold an attribute of demographic information, how likely were they to withhold other pieces of information? So for example, we have a few 0.6s in here that were the highest probability. Like if they didn't want to disclose how many children they had, there was a 0.6 chance that they would also remain private about their gender, or home ownership and wealth, or education and occupation, and so on. So thank you for listening and making it to the end of my presentation. I will now briefly conclude by sharing my genuine appreciation to you for taking an interest in my work, and concluding with a question that you may think about in your personal time. The motive of this project was to allow people to help in developing some artificial intelligence that can predict who is more likely to be at risk to specific cyber attacks, so similar people could be provided with preventative training. However, the experiment revealed that around half of people do not want to disclose an entire digital image of themselves and deem certain demographic information too personal. So the question that I ask, therefore, is what is more important? Precision and efficiency of prevention, or protecting people's privacy and free will? Thank you for watching.